विश्वजीत धुल, बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ आपको, आपने नॉट ओनली रिमार्केबल और सिलेक्शन के लिए, बल्कि बहुत अच्छे से वीजा प्रोसेसिंग और इवेंचुअली आप यूएस पहुंचे हैं अपने अंडर ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम को शुरू करने के लिए।
थैंक यू सर।
तो ये जो इससे पहले मैं कहूँ कि इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ, तो ये मोटिवेशन कहाँ से आया कि यू वांट टू एक्सप्लोर यूएस फॉर योर अंडरग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम?
Yeah, so actually, my elder sister, she is currently pursuing her PhD from New York RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Yes.
So she got here. She explained me about the exposure and training the students are getting in the US.
Yes.
So I was influenced by that, and so I felt like I should also be the part of it. Like मेरे को भी यहाँ आना चाहिए।
तो आपकी दीदी ने अच्छा खासा रोल प्ले किया है मोटिवेट करने के लिए, इंस्पायरिंग मतलब एक रूप में सामने आई है कि आज आप भी सो कॉल्ड उनके पद चिन्हों पे चलने की कोशिश की और कामयाबी मिली।
Yeah.
Okay. तो जरा अपने बारे में बताइए, इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ विश्व।
So my name is Vishwajit. I'm 20 years old. I was born and brought up in Sonipat, Haryana. I did most of my schooling from Rishikul Vidyapeeth, Sonipat, and I completed my senior secondary in 2019 with 92.6% marks. Now, then I took a drop year to prepare for JEE, and then I got admission into DCREST Muthal in Bachelors of Technology. So then I contacted Let's Do GRE through my sister to pursue my higher studies from US. So now I got offer from 3 universities in US, and I have chosen Mississippi State University to pursue my bachelor's in computer science.
Nice. You will talk about application process. तो आपने 2 साल क्या किया DCREST में? What were you studying?
Yeah, so my major was electronics and communication engineering.
Okay.
The first year was basic like physics, maths, English. So in second year, we got more into the core subjects like data structure and algorithms and communication and analog circuits and etc.
तो इस जर्नी को तुमने शुरू करने के लिए कुछ एग्जाम की तैयारी की होगी, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल टॉफल हो गया, सेट हो गया, तो क्या कैसे आपने तैयारी की और क्या आपके स्कोर थे, जरा बताइए डिटेल में।
So the first test I gave was TOEFL on 31st October 2020. And I prepared for it about a month through online websites like TOEFL Bank and the material provided by Let's Do GRE. And I scored 104 marks in TOEFL. So that was a 13 listening and a 26 in reading and writing and a 22 in speaking. Then I appeared for my SAT on 4th of December 2021.
Okay.
So I prepared up for about 3 months for SAT. And I took coaching from Jamboree. It is a coaching center in Delhi. And
it was online mode.
Yeah, in online at night 8:30 to 11. So there were classes. Okay. And
वो जो तैयारी थी वो कैसी थी? फर्स्ट राउंड तुम्हारा जो सेट का था।
Yeah, so I appeared for the SAT first time through my own preparation, like online PDFs and books through Telegram channels. So I scored a 1300 in my first attempt.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had time to appear once more. So we took the chance. So I contacted the team of Jamboree, like I was coaching, and so I only had 3 to 4 weeks. There were 13 total classes, so I could only attend 10 of them before appearing for my second time. Yeah. And in my second attempt, I scored a 1360. That is a 750 in mathematics and 610 in English composition.
तो उनका जो पढ़ाने का तरीका था, जो कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर था, यू थिंक इट वाज क्वाइट हेल्पफुल, क्योंकि आपको 1300 स्कोर ऑलरेडी यू हैड विदाउट मच प्रिपरेशन.
So it was through Zoom online meetings. Like there were 10 to 12 students in a class.
Okay.
So they were like वो पूरा ध्यान दे रहे थे हर students पे. Like we had to send them questions through a private link and our answer. Like so no other students could see them, but the teacher could evaluate like if the student has solved the questions or not. Yeah, so their coaching was satisfactory. I think I could not have gained the plus 60 marks without them.
अच्छा अच्छा. तो तुम्हारा मतलब जैसे I know your mathematics quant was pretty good. Why you scored only 750? Why did you gain more scoring?
Yeah, so it's like the level of questions is not so difficult.
Okay.
But we are already exhausted by giving 2 sets of English. Like there are 65 questions in reading and again 40 or 45 something in writing. And after that, there is only a 10 to 15 minutes break. And then it's more about attempting all 58 questions correctly. Yeah, so it's like if आपको सारे 58 questions के answers एक साथ देने हैं सही और बहुत time कम है. So there are some silly mistakes and things which like my 4 or 5 questions were wrong. But it's like when you have crossed the 700 marks, every one question will cost you 10 points. So I got 53 correct out of 58 in math.
So can you explain me, for the audience sake, what is the structure of SAT examination and its duration, and how when the exams happen in India?
Yeah, so the exams happen every once in 2 months. So it starts in August, then October, and then December, and some attempts in March or Feb, I think. So the structure is like there are 65 questions in English composition, which we have to attempt in 52 minutes. So there are 4 paragraphs with 13 questions each. So there are questions like, what is the author trying to say in these lines? What is the meaning of this word? So it's like that. And we have to also give the shirshak of that passage, like what would be the heading. Okay. And then the reading part, there is a 5-minute break between reading and writing. So writing is more on the grammatical side. Like we have to read the passages and correct the grammar, like which sentence should be added. These 2 sentences are making sense or not. Should they be kept or deleted? Like, and the punctuation, there is a heavy focus on punctuation, like commas, semicolons, periods, and all that. So after that, there is a short break. You can eat or walk around to get fresh air. And after that, you have to attempt the maths. So maths is divided into 2 portions. One is with calculator and another is without calculator. So the without calculator portion covers 20 questions. And they are easy, like there is no differentiation or integration in mathematics, which we are taught in our 11th or 12th. So after that, we have to attempt the next part, that is with calculator, 38 questions. So, but it is written on that question paper that if you are using calculator, no, there is no need to use calculator in any question. So they are indirectly saying कि अगर calculator use कर रहे हो तो और सोचो, approach सही नहीं. So there is only one catch. Like if we appear for JEE and all, we can shift back to if we are attempting JEE, there is physics, chemistry, and math. We can go back and to and fro to each section.
Yes.
But in that, if you have attempted the reading part, the 52 minutes are over, you can't go back. You can only attempt the part in which you are given time. Like if you are on writing, you can only see the questions of writing.
Okay.
And the invigilator catches you even correcting your answers of any other section, your test will be cancelled.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to only attempt the section. Once it is done, we can't go back.
Okay. So it is computer based or paper based?
It's offline mode.
Offline.
Paper.
Okay.
And TOEFL is online based.
Please continue. So
I think that,
what was the toughness of the questions?
yeah, so I believe the SAT mathematics part is easy compared to the English part.
Okay.
English part is tough, like it is not very clear to find out answers by just reading the. We have to get a good grasp of what the author was trying to say in these lines.
Okay.
Yeah, and the time constraint on the reading part is more compared to the mathematics part.
Okay.
Like I had around 15 minutes left for my maths part to revise, but I could barely finish my English portion.
English portion. तो total समय कितना था exam का?
It takes around 3.5 to 4 hours to complete the test.
And what about SAT subject? Is it compulsory or?
No, it's not. There are very few schools that ask you to give the subject ones separately. Like the SAT is more prevalent. So I would like to add that there is a option between SAT and ACE. There is another test called ACT.
Yes.
Just like I told that in SAT, the English portion is tough. So if someone feels like my English is not so good, they can appear for ACT. In ACT, the maths part is tougher compared to the English part, but the English one is easy.
Okay.
So the one you feel comfortable, you can attempt ACT or SAT. The colleges will evaluate them separately. Like they won't bias your application if someone has sent SAT or ACT scores.
That's quite good to know.
Yeah.
So how many universities you listed for the application, and how you apply for those applications?
Yeah, so we applied in about 8 universities. So for international applicants, there is a thing called Common App.
Okay.
Like you can create your ID in that and fill out your personal details, and then you won't have to fill them in your every application for the university.
Okay.
Like once you have filled, you can jump to direct questions asked by the university.
Okay.
So it saves a lot of time and it is very convenient.
So can you name the universities?
Yeah, so I applied for Mississippi State University, Washington State University, New Mexico State University, Purdue University, Oregon State University, Montana, University of Montana, and one or two more. I can't remember them.
I think Arizona State also.
Yeah, and I got offer from Arizona State.
State also. तो इनमें से कहाँ से ऑफर आया आपको?
So I got offer from Mississippi State, New Mexico, Washington State, and Arizona State University.
Okay. And all these applications were sent through Common App.
Yeah.
Even Mississippi State.
Yeah, all were through Common App.
Okay. So let's talk about Mississippi State, because you picked up in some way this university for your undergraduate program. Why you picked Mississippi State University?
So I picked it because the ranking is also good, and it was providing me 80% scholarship due
How much is it?
On behalf of my academic performance,
Okay.
like my 9 to 12 GPA and my SAT scores.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have 3 or 4 scholarship based on that. So combining them, it's about 80%.
So when you say 80% of what?
So the fees is like 28K per year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm getting around $20,500 waived off on that.
So how much you're getting waived off? The tuition waiver?
$20,500.
Yeah, so this is per year.
Yeah, per year.
So this is a good amount. And what about your living expenses?
So I will be living off campus. So the rent is around 500.
Okay.
There 4 roommates and the 500 per month rent. And so I talked to my roommates. So they told me like the extra expenses for food and transportation, like so that would be 300 to 400 extra on rent. Yeah, so it's safe to say $1,000 per month.
Good, good. So basically, it covers your 80% of your tuition over the 4 year.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's not like we have got it for 4 years. It's
Yes.
only for a year. So we have to maintain a GPA. So we have to be in 3.4 plus something.
Yeah, yeah. See, that motivates student to keep working hard.
Yeah.
And I think Indian, our upbringing has been like that probably, maintaining 3.4 if you're working consistently, motivating yourself should not be an issue. This is good amount of. How about, do you plan to have on-campus job also to support yourself?
I've applied for a few on-campus jobs, like assistant, grad assistant in labs, or there is also opportunity in there is a distant education program in which the student has to record the lectures of the teacher and upload it on their site.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's also a job opportunity. And other than that, there are jobs like in cafeteria. The system for food is like you have to buy it for the whole semester. So there are a specific number of meals for the whole semester. So when you go to the cafeteria, so there your number of meals are being subtracted every time you attend that. So there is a person to keep track of that. So there is that also one
Another
job.
opportunity, yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. I remember generally undergraduate, they also do some kind of research or some kind of minor project under the supervision of a professor, I think. So what is your major?
So my major is computer science.
Basically, probably, you might find someone who can utilize your skills in computational front. Maybe after 1 year, when you have some kind of experience.
So as I have studied like data structure and algorithms in DCRUS, like a second year student. So also opportunity to be a teaching assistant for the professors for fresh.
Yeah. Very true. Not only teaching assistant, but I think research assistant, but part-time undergrad exposure, or I think professor, they get this undergraduate REU, research exposure to undergraduate, something like that. So in that program probably you might fit into it, depends on your motivation, whether you are doing it or not. But there are funds for that.
Yeah. So once I reach on campus, I think I'll be
you
more
explore, you keep talking and door to door, knock the door, and present your CV or resume to professors. I think we will help with that in the coming time. So when did you get this offer?
So I got my offer in end of March 2022. Yeah.
And after accepting this offer, how did you feel?
It was a huge relief. Like, so I was very stressed whether I will get into any college or not, because it was a 3-year gap between my senior secondary and now my application. Yeah, but fortunately it didn't harm my application.
In this application, I think there are various essays to write, right? Can you explain them? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So firstly, like I mentioned, the common app. It has its own set of essays. Like
Yes.
we have to write 2 essays on common app separately, other than our college application.
Yes.
After that, and in that essays, the topics are very, मतलब इतने मुश्किल नहीं है वो टॉपिक्स कि आपको कोई आपको लाइफ में डिफिकल्टी फेस हुई हो आपने कैसे ओवरकम किया and all that. So, and after that, universities, it basically depends on which university you are applying. Like, not every university asks for essays or recommendation letters from your teachers.
Mhm.
So, this Mississippi State University asked for a separate essay, but didn't ask for a recommendation letter.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the essays, you helped me very much with my essays. Like, the first few attempts were bizarre.
Yeah, applications are very important part. I mean, how they will know about this kind of beyond, I think, mini biography probably. This is an opportunity that you talk about yourself in a bigger way, so they understand your application and defend that, well, you deserve this scholarship admission.
It's about expressing yourself, how well
Yes,
you write
yes,
your thoughts.
yeah, yes, completely agree with that. Yes. So afterwards, once you accepted the offer, it goes with the visa application process, right?
Yeah.
Tell me in detail about starting from your DS 160 and thereafter.
Yeah. So, once I filled my DS 160 form, we started looking for dates, like for biometric and interviews.
Mhm.
And the dates were available for next year, like 20.
Okay.
So the relief days were very short, like a week or 10 days. After that, I got stressed about whether will I get an interview date or not.
I think not only you, most of students
Yeah,
who were trying to book the US of all, they're all tensed.
yeah, I would check like the Telegram groups 20 to 30 times a day, like whether someone a date or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started for my visa in April or May, and
Mhm.
then I got my interview date of 1st June.
Okay.
Like, so the first there are biometrics, which take place in Shivaji Metro Stadium, New Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I reached there was a mistake in my DS 160 form.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so so I'm not using my surname in
Mhm.
official
Yes.
so I wrote my name twice, like Vishwajit Vishwajit.
Mhm.
So there are people, when you are standing in line, they come to you to check your documents, like whether they are complete or not.
Okay.
So a girl, she told me like, you can't use your name twice now. You have to use FNU,
Yes. Yes.
like FNU Vishwajit.
Mhm.
So then there is a option to, like, वो सामने ही एक काउंटर है वहां पे मेट्रो स्टेडियम के अंदर,
अच्छा.
कि अगर आपको कोई करेक्शन करवानी हो तो so but I thought like I'll do it myself.
Mhm.
So I went out and tried to search for internet cafes.
Mhm.
So but when I opened my application, there were only two options, like to print my application form and
New
start
new
application.
application.
Yeah. So when you are worried and nervous in that situation, so I got blank. Like, why would I start a new application? Would I have to get a new date and all?
Uh,
Yes. Fortunately, the guy on that cafe, he was knowledgeable. So
okay.
he told me like, I will do it for you.
Mhm.
And then he told me like the 60% part of your application is saved. You can only edit the 40%.
अच्छा.
Fortunately, the mistake I did was part of that 40%, so it could be corrected.
अच्छा.
Yeah. So, and my appointment time was around 11:15,
Okay.
And so they asked me to come back before 1:30.
Okay.
But he told me like they accepted till 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. So I corrected my form, reached back there. Then the process was smooth after that correction.
Okay.
Like they take a picture of you for your visa stamp and your left hand fingerprints for all four fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, then after that, the main part, that is visa interview.
Yes.
Yeah,
Was
so
in New Delhi also, right?
yeah, in the US embassy, that is in Chanakyapuri.
Yes.
Yeah. So while I thought I should prepare for it well in advance, like
Yes.
I talked to students and everyone was sharing their experience in Telegram groups, and there were many YouTube videos.
Yes.
So the most of the responses were like, there is a lady in her 30s. So if she is your interviewer, there are 90% chances she will reject you.
Okay.
Okay, so when I reached in the embassy, so the first counter which I was allotted, there was a guy. So I was relieved. Like, so the chances are increased. But said a lady came to me like that another counter is open, you can go there. And so there was a lady that they were talking in Telegram groups
Okay.
before. So I got nervous, like, oh shit. But then she was not so much rude or something like they were telling. So she asked me for my documents like I-20 and passport.
Okay.
And then she asked me, when did you complete your senior secondary? So I told her I completed it in 2019. So she got like, what did you do for your 3 years in between? So I told her that I was preparing for my SAT and TOEFL, and due to this pandemic, I could not go like in between. So she was satisfied with the answer. Then she asked like, who is funding? How will you cover your funding for? So I told her that based on my academic performance, I am getting us 80% scholarship from Mississippi State University, and rest of the expenses will be covered by my father. So my father is sponsoring me. Yeah. So she didn't ask for how much money is in our bank account or something, but she asked like, what is my father's profession?
Yes.
Yeah, will he fund me? So at first I told him that he is in the law and enforcement department, but she could not understand it. So I just bluntly told her that he is a government employee.
That's
So,
better answer.
yeah, so she started laughing and she said, okay, all right. Yeah, then and also there were many confusions on Telegram groups, like they ask you why this university, why USA, and you have to convince them. She didn't ask of that. She was just like, do you have any elder brother or sister? Why? So I told her that I have an elder sister. So she asked me, what is she doing?
Yes.
So when I told her that she is a research scholar in Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, New York,
Yeah.
so she became more happy, like, oh, a research.
RPI is well-known institution.
Yeah.
Very old technological institution.
So she asked me like, on which visa did your sister go? So I told her she is also on a F1 visa. Yeah. So after that, she was typing something on that computer for 2 or 3, and she was like, scan your fingers. Your visa is approved.
So आपके साथ कौन गया था वीजा इंटरव्यू के दौरान?
So my sister went with me to the embassy.
So Neha
Like
was
she,
in India that time.
yeah.
समझ आई हुई थी. तो कैसा महसूस हुआ? वाओ, वो भी लेडी के थ्रू यू, this just like God happened.
Yeah. So everyone was jumping, like they were very excited when they got approved. So when I reached there, I was like, I did a small prank on her, like मैं मायूस सा होके बाहर निकला गेट से. So she was like, what happened? But then that I got approved. Yeah.
बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ। वो प्रोसेस एक्चुअली ऐसा है, अंडर ग्रेजुएट में थोड़ा सा और भी डर लगता है, पता नहीं अप्रूव करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे। मुझे याद आती है माइक्रॉन टेक्नोलॉजी के सीईओ है, व्हाट्स हिज नेम, आई फॉरगॉट हिज नेम, संजय मल्होत्रा, बहुत बड़े इनोवेटर है। उनके अंडर ग्रेजुएट के दौरान ट्राई कर रही थी, कई बार उनके वीजा रिजेक्ट हुए थे।
Yeah.
ओके,
So in behind me in the line, he got rejected. Yeah. So there were some rejections.
तो देखो इसमें क्या होता है, इट इज वेरी इंडिविजुअल केसेस, ओके। Obviously it depends on the visa officer too, but if you defend your question very well, and it all makes sense, probably it is approval.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in this. I mean, this group, that group, what people are saying. It
Yeah.
may not reflect on you. You are very individual. अलग-अलग cases होते हैं. So,
Just be honest and confident.
yes, yes. So I mean, it's not a good idea probably to be part of those group where sometimes you feel, wow, what is going to happen now? And then you got demotivated or something. तो तुम्हारा वीजा कब आया? When did you collect your passport?
Yeah, so they sent me a mail after 2 or 3 days, like your visa is ready for pickup.
Okay.
So we have to pick it up from Shivaji Metro Stadium,
Okay.
like where the biometrics happened.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that is closed on Saturdays. So I went on a Sunday to pick up my passport. Yeah. And a funny thing happened there also, like एक्साइटमेंट में मैं ऐसे ही निकल गया घर से, मैंने कोई
Okay.
When I'm standing in line, so they told me like you have to get your original Aadhaar card, this and this. So I was like, I don't have anything on me. So fortunately, there is that counter for correction and all. So I got my photocopy of Aadhaar card and went. Yeah. So when I got my passport, everyone was like, "How did you get it just with a photocopy of Aadhaar card?" Yeah. But it was a huge, and I was feeling very happy seeing that visa stamp. So I shared it to everyone.
कितने साल का उन्होंने उसमें लिखा है?
It's for 5 years.
5 years.
That's
For 4 years, but you've been given 5 years. Good. उसके बाद आप नेहा से मिले वहाँ, कुछ सेलिब्रेशन हुआ कि नहीं हुआ?
Yeah, a little bit, like we went to a cafe.
Okay. So how was your father and mother felt afterwards?
So I sent them the picture through WhatsApp. And so he called me directly, like, "Mil gaya visa, ye wo," and they were very happy. So, yeah, तो
ये बहुत अच्छा, मतलब एक ऐसी सोच दर्शाता है। देखो कैसे मतलब एक बड़ा ऐसे आपकी दीदी निकली, राइट, बहुत चीजें गई पढ़ने के लिए, कैसे एक डायरेक्शन बनी कि आप भी जा सकते हो, राइट। एक के निकलने से बहुत बढ़िया चेन बनती है और फिर अवेयरनेस बनती है, एक बहुत प्रॉपर तरीके से काम किया जा सकता है। इसका आप एक एग्जाम्पल, राइट।
अगर नेहा का एडमिशन नहीं होता तो we were yes, like there is option to study abroad also.
बिल्कुल सही। इस प्रोसेस में आपके वीजा तक के प्रोसेस में कितना एक्सपेंस आया? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we'll start from TOEFL exam. So it's for 14,000 INR around approx. And the SAT is for 7 to 8,000 depending on the exchange rate. Yeah, so they 20,000 for these exams and 50 to 60,000 for your college applications.
Okay.
Like from $50 to $100 based on the university. Yeah, and then for that visa, $12,000 for the DS-160 form and 28,000 for this interview. Yeah, so we can say around 1.5 lakhs.
आपको I-20 क्योंकि 80% स्कॉलरशिप थी, कितना बैंक स्टेटमेंट वगैरह दिखाना पड़ा आपको इससे पहले आपको I-20 मिलता?
So there is a certificate of finances they attach with your I-20,
Okay.
which explains all the expenses they perceive you might experience. So it was around $45,000 for the first year. So minus the $20,000 scholarship, so you are supposed to show around 25,000. So, but it's ideal to show twice of the expense of your first year if the visa interviewer asks about it.
Okay. That good answer.
I had my father's bank statement with me, but they didn't ask for it.
फिर आपने फिर हाउसिंग का, रहने का कैसे हुआ, फ्लाइट का कैसे हुआ, और कब आप यूएस पहुंचे, अभी कहाँ हैं आप इसमें?
So right now I'm in New York, Troy,
Troy.
with my sister.
जरा बताइए आफ्टरवर्ड प्रोसेस, आपकी हाउसिंग को लेके, फ्लाइट्स
Yeah.
को लेके, आपकी ट्रैवल को लेके.
So the housing first, a freshman is required to live on campus, like the first year. So there is a form like freshman residency exemption. So I filled it and applied for my exemption, and so fortunately I got it. Like there is a student, Pinky. Uh, she became my guardian for my first year. So then I talked to a guy. Currently pursuing computer science he's in second year now from Mississippi State University.
Okay.
So I talked to him about this expenses and all. So he was like, we can take an apartment together. So now we are 4 roommates in a 4-bedroom apartment. So it's a $500 for each. And so apartment was not so difficult. Like there are many companies giving you residency. So I applied on 21 apartments. Then it is so I got it in a 1 or 2 week period. Like they finalized everything. And the flight portion, flights are very expensive right now.
Yes.
Like, so I booked my flight right after getting my visa approved.
कब की फ्लाइट बुक करी आपने, क्या राउट था, क्या कितना पैसा लगा?
So I got my visa on 4th of June. So I was looking for flights way before that, but due to कि वीजा नहीं था अभी, तो फाइनल डेट नहीं पता थी कि कब क्या करनी चाहिए. तो once I got my visa, I started looking for the early August and end of July. Like they were the only dates available which were cheaper. So I booked my flight on 10th of June for 4th August to New York.
Yeah, you were talking about how you booked up the flight.
Yeah. So I booked my flight on 10th of June. So it was for 4th of August from New Delhi to JFK.
Okay.
So it was an Air India flight. So it was for around 1,03,000 at that time. Yeah. But then it jumped to like 1,70,000.
तो ये फ्लाइट कैसे अचानक से ढूंढी थी क्या, कैसे बुक कराई थी?
So I was looking for 30 to 40 days before. Okay. So when I started looking, it was only for 78,000. But I didn't have my visa, so I had to wait for it. Okay. So I saw it like growing every day. 78.
ठीक है. फिर tell us about the journey. First time तुम इंडिया से जर्नी कर रहे थे इस प्रकार से, कैसी रही वो यात्रा, कैसे तुम न्यूयॉर्क पहुंचे, कैसा रिक्वायरमेंट थी न्यू दिल्ली में और जेएफके में?
So before this one, I didn't have like मैंने कोई domestic flight भी नहीं ली है पहले. So it was international flight.
So you were destined to take first flight to New York.
Yeah. So my flight was on 4th. So like it was 1:45 a.m. on 4th of August.
Okay.
तो 3 ही था वैसे तो दिन शाम के 3 बजे निकले थे. So I got my COVID test done on 2nd and it came out positive.
Okay.
But then I asked the Air India staff, like through customer care. So then they told me, like, if you are fully vaccinated, we don't require a RT-PCR test now. So I was relieved that it won't be any concern.
So what
Yes.
documents do they require at
Okay.
airport?
So during so at the boarding pass counter, they ask you for your passport, your I-20, and your fully vaccinated certificate.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they give you your boarding pass.
Have
And
you taken your booster dose also?
no, so I think there is a requirement, like there should be a 9-month gap between your second dose and booster dose.
Okay.
So I got my second dose in December.
Okay.
So then after that, I went to the immigration counter.
Okay.
So there was a huge line, like there is no separation. Like if you are any visa, any passport holder, you have to stand in any line.
Okay.
Yeah. So they also didn't ask much questions. They were like, where are you going? Is it your first time? And like that. So they asked me 2-3 general questions and then they put a stamp like departed on. Yeah. So then there is a security check where you have to put all your electronic items in a tray and then go through that. So when I was putting my electronic items, so the tray went full, like it was a heap. And they were like, what will you do with so much electronics? So I just told them they are accessories for my laptop and all. But so the check-in bag, so there were some utensils in that. So they asked me to open it and show them also. So it's better like to put the utensils in the 23 kg bag. Like so through the security check, otherwise they will ask you to open it every time you go through it. So I got my boarding pass, immigration and security check completed in around 2 hours. And so I had around 1.5 hours to, explore the airport and all that duty-free zone. Yeah. So then I reached the counter. So there were many people, around 300 to 400 people. And they said we will do a security check again. तो वो काउंटर पे जो पीछे वो बोर्डिंग पास चेक करने वाले वो they were shouting कि इनको आने दो आगे, इनको आने दो, और वो सिक्योरिटी वाले नहीं हम तो चेक करेंगे. So लास्ट की 5 मिनट बच गई थी, वो फिर भी 50 से 100 लोग रहते थे जिनका सिक्योरिटी चेक था. So they were very tense, like why are they doing a check again? So then we boarded our flight. So I had booked a window seat, like on the back side of the airplane, but they changed it, like when they gave me the boarding pass. But तो मैंने उस पे उस टाइम ध्यान नहीं दिया क्योंकि मेरे को इमिग्रेशन का था कि इमिग्रेशन हो जाए एक बार. तो फिर मैं उस टाइम तो चेंज नहीं करवा सकता था, तो मेरे को बीच वाली लाइन में भी, जो बीच वाली सीट होती है बिल्कुल, तो विंडो से इतना बुरा डिमोशन कर दिया.
Okay.
Yeah, but the flight went strangely well. Like there were no 5-6 बार turbulence आई और बाकी तो
जर्नी थी.
So it was like 14.5 hours. So the plane took off around 2 in the morning, and we landed in 4:30 in.
और रास्ते में क्या सब खाया पिया गया?
So coincidentally, the name of captain was also Neha.
Okay.
So like they give you breakfast around 6 or 7. That's a croissant and some beverages. Then they give you lunch around 12. That had there is option like vegetarian or non-veg. So I'm a vegetarian. So I got rice, paneer, and two chapatis, I think, and a brownie and ice cream. So the food was good. And I slept most of the journey. So and they, after takeoff, like the windows were also shut. So they were like, don't open them. Like other passengers were also sleeping. So there was nothing much to do. Like you can't look out. So I slept.
You could have watched some episodes or some movies.
Yeah, so in Air India flights, like 80% of that screens don't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So you had to be very lucky to find a seat of the screen that is working. But I had some movies on my smartphone. Like I downloaded the Star Wars series. Yeah. But I couldn't watch even a single movie. Like कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता था बीच में. कभी वो खाना लेके आ रहे हैं, कभी टर्बुलेंस आ गई, कभी मेरे को नहीं.
Okay.
फिर लैंडिंग के बाद, so I was the first one to just run through to that immigration line.
Okay.
So हमारे एक कीनिया से फ्लाइट आई थी. तो उसके बाद there are counters, like if you are a visa holder, you have to go to a separate line. If you are a US citizen, there is a separate. So some of the students went to that US citizen line. So they stood there for around an hour, and when their turn came, they realized they are not a US citizen. So they yeah. So then the immigration officer asked me, like, is it your first time and US? What is the purpose of your journey and all? So I told him that I'll be studying bachelor's. Computer science is my major, and I'll be going to Mississippi State University. So he asked me that I would be residing on campus or off campus.
Yes.
I told him it will be off campus. Then he asked for my address. So during the end of flight, you get a slip of something like customs and border protection.
Yes.
In that you have to declare if you are carrying any expensive goods or so. So I the address on that. So I gave him that slip. Like I mentioned the address here. So he typed for us for some time. So he asked me like 3 or 4 times, is it your first time entering US? Are you coming here for first time? So he was also confused. So then he put the stamp like arrived. And then we have to go for baggage claim.
Okay.
So there is a huge conveyor belt.
Yes.
So वहाँ पे भी से मेरा बैग किसी और ने उठा लिया पहले. फिर मैं वहाँ पे कह रहा हूँ उसको कि रख दे वहाँ.
कितने बैगेजेस लेके गए हो?
So I had 2 bags of 23 kgs.
Okay.
And a 7 kg bag for which I could carry during my flight, and a laptop bag which is not measured, like how much you are carrying in that.
Oh, sometimes it does. Just so you know.
So I was lucky.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Yes.
Because I had filled it with every electronic I could find.
Yeah, you like electronics. कितने बजे लैंड हुई न्यूयॉर्क?
तो सुबह के 6:30 बजे लैंड हुई थी न्यूयॉर्क में.
वहाँ पे वाईफाई वगैरह था क्या?
हाँ. So when I was standing in that line for immigration, I connected to that Wi-Fi, and I called parents and sister like I have arrived. So, but after that, when I went to that area for baggage claim, the Wi-Fi stopped working. Yeah, so फिर हो गया कि अब कैसे contact करें. So then I took that air train to the Jamaica station.
Okay.
And then from Jamaica to Penn station to board the train to Troy.
Okay.
So it was like a 7 to 8 hours more it took me to reach Troy.
Okay, ये सब बुकिंग वगैरह किसने नेहा ने करके रखी?
Yeah, she had booked it in well in advance.
फिर ट्रॉय स्टेशन से घर कैसे पहुंचे?
Through Uber.
Let's talk
So
about it. Yeah, good.
So it took around only 5 to 10 minutes from the station to the apartment.
So how do you find Troy? Like in the place?
Yeah, it's good. Like the weather is like sometimes it's a sunny day, and the other moment you look outside, it starts raining. So कुछ ऐसा certain नहीं है. But it's very like so when I reached that RPI, so Neha took me to her lab and to show the campus. So I was starstruck, like seeing the campus.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a hilly area, so everything seems so beautiful. Like you can see the whole city from a point. Like so, it's very beautiful.
I agree with you. Are you exploring some gym or something sports activity there?
Yeah, so there are students who play football and badminton in the evening. And I also go to the university's gym in the afternoon.
Do you have access to that?
Yeah, so I take.
Okay, nice, very nice. Okay. So I would say इस तुम्हारी जर्नी में आज तुम कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचे हो, नेहा played very significant role, I would say. So be thankful to her as always. अभी तो रक्षाबंधन आ ही रहा है.
नेहा का भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है और पेरेंट्स का भी है, like to send your children 12,000 miles away from you and so on. So they उनका भी सपोर्ट बहुत रहा है कि तुम जाओ अपना करियर बनाओ. और फिर आपका भी रोल नहीं नजरअंदाज कर सकते. आपकी गाइडेंस बिना तो एडमिशन होता है.
मेंटरशिप तो जरूरत है, बिना उसके नहीं होता है ये. I agree with that. So you also went to Rishikul, right? To motivate the students.
Yeah, so they asked me to come to aware the students, like how is the admission process and what I was supposed to give. So I talked to around 150 students and they were very excited after knowing the process.
Yes, greatly agree. कोई निकल जाता है ना तो फिर एक हिम्मत बनती है, अरे विशु ने किया, विशु दीदी he can do, I can also do.
My teachers were also very happy. Like they told me, like when we saw you communicating and like this, there was a कि confidence ही अलग था तुम्हारे अंदर जो तुम बोल रहे.
समय चेंज हो जाता है. तो क्या कहना चाहोगे इस तुम्हारी जर्नी में, राइट? बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट जो मतलब ईगर होते हैं बट समहाउ दे डोंट नो, कैपेबिलिटीज होती हैं. आई बिलीव इंडियन हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम ऐसा है, मैनी स्टूडेंट दे हैव कैपेबिलिटीज बट नो मेंटरशिप. तो क्या कहेंगे आप ऐसे स्टूडेंट के लिए और हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में भी, our efforts के बारे में?
So I would like to say कि students are very capable, कि कैलिबर तो है उन स्टूडेंट्स में, लेकिन opportunities की थोड़ी कमी है हमारे पास. Like when I asked the students in my school, like what are you preparing for, so they were only like JEE and DU. Know about two things.
Yes.
There is like we have to be aware of many things, or we should learn from everyone. जहाँ से knowledge मिले ले लो.
Awareness बहुत जरूरी है. Yeah.
And awareness भी मिल जाए, उसके बाद फिर उस पे act on भी करना है कि like we are कि हाँ चल देखा जाएगा जो होगा. So this attitude won't get you anywhere. Yes. You have to. You also used to say me like you are lazy, but I'm also trying to be more active.
Yeah, you should be.
So and there is a major role of a mentor. like without Let's Do GRE, I won't be sitting here right now. So yeah, I would be a regular student going to a regional college and then be clueless after my degree. Yeah. So I would like to thank you again for your guidance and support. And I would like to wish every student all the best who are trying to get admissions and contact. So Let's Do GRE की team पे भरोसा रखो. They will get you admitted. Don't worry.
Thank you. I completely. This online platform, but we are working hard for students in many ways.
Yeah.
You already know. So
Yeah,
stage. Yes, go ahead.
So Let's Do GRE is not just like any coaching center. Like हम जाते हैं कोचिंग सेंटर्स पे, फीस भर लेते हैं और फिर वो अपनी जो भी होता है कोर्स वगैरह कंप्लीशन के बाद देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दे डोंट केयर अगर आपका सिलेक्शन हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है. सो दैट्स द डिफरेंस. सो लेट्स डू जीआरई ज्यादा कनेक्ट करता है स्टूडेंट से.
तो तुम्हारी भी मतलब प्लेटफॉर्म सेट है, शुरुआत है ये. ओके, do not forget, I keep saying that you are lazy and you are lazy. again ट्राई नहीं करता तो कुछ अच्छा अचीव करने के लिए मेहनत बहुत जरूरी होती है. अब तुम्हारे पास रहेंगे ऑल रिसोर्सेस, इन्वायरमेंट रहेगा ऐसा कि आप यदि करना चाहोगे तो पुलिंग नहीं है. ओके, और ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट we are also there anyways. तो लगातार आपको मेहनत करनी है अच्छा करने के लिए. ओके, और अभी तुम यहाँ गए हो, फिर नेक्स्ट स्टेप रहेगा जॉब का सिनेरियो रहेगा, फिर मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम का सिनेरियो. तो यू हैव टू कीप अपग्रेडिंग योरसेल्फ. ओके, या लेजीनेस नहीं आनी चाहिए एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ योर करियर. यू जस्ट 20 years old.
क्या अभी तो स्टार्ट हुआ है.
जस्ट द बिगिनिंग. अब प्लेटफॉर्म सेट है, इट्स ऑल अप टू यू. Yes. So now you can't complain कि मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली थी. No.
Yeah.
इससे बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं हो सकती. Thank you, Vishu. And I would like to have जो तुमने कुछ वीडियोस और पिक्चर्स खींची हो इस जर्नी में, do share with us. So we'll integrate in this video. Okay.
Okay, sir.
चलो ध्यान रखो. हाँ, तुम्हारी फ्लाइट बुकिंग हो गई उसकी स्टार को लेके?
Yes, sir. So Neha booked it around a month. It's from Albany airport to, then there is a stop at Atlanta, and then it's to Mississippi. So it's around 4 hours journey.
I wish you all the best. Best wishes, and we will continue in touch anyways. तुम्हारे को तो बहुत आगे बढ़ाना है. This is just a beginning. We have our own goals for you. Just so I have discussed with Neha already about it. ठीक है विश्व, है. Enjoy your stay at Troy for now. All the best.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.